Hello, this is not a spring chicken. We're getting ready to make, believe it or not, a turkey in the microwave. And we're getting started by, oh yes, this is all the extra stuff, and we're making a broth with it, just for the Monty Bubbles. So we're going to go ahead and get started, but meanwhile, we'll bring Oldecam on with comments on the headlines of today. Obama, the most clueless president in American history.
Okay, I mean, people on the left that support him say that this man, it didn't help that that Newsweek magazine now says that this job may be too big for one person, and they may have to have a co-president.
Yeah, what was the cover of that? Because they were calling him a god?
He was a god. Now he can't handle the job, and they're making excuses for this guy. It's pathetic. It's why Soros wants him gone, to replace him with somebody that basically, well, you got to stick to the job, not travel out of the country every time things start going bad.
And white powder sent to Dancing with the Stars studio in LA.
Yeah, they're upset about Bristol Palin being in the finals because she can't dance. Everybody knows she can't dance.
Well, here's part of it. Everybody knows that. That's not a surprise. But they also can understand why she's kept on, because there's a lot of people that call in.
Yeah, but the problem is that the people on the left are demanding she be removed because the show's obviously fixed. Well, yeah, when basically Kelly Monaco beats Ed Hurley,
yeah,
that's not going to happen. Basically, the stink was so bad then they had to have a playoff, which he easily won.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Obama says he understands the ire over airport screenings.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Hillary Clinton said that you have to understand the President of the United States, nor his wife, nor his family, nor none of the people that are with him have to go through any of that. So he said he doesn't understand a single thing.
Yeah, part of it is they don't have to. Would Hillary Clinton have to go through that?
She does.
Because she's Secretary of State. Because the president comes with his entourage.
He comes with his entourage, and him and him basically go through their own private area. But here's
which they should anyway. But
you want to know how to avoid the pat-downs and the scanners?
How?
Become a Muslim.
Ooh.
If you join the Muslim religion, you don't have to go through that. Isn't there coincidence we have a Muslim president who thinks that this should be done except for his people?
Well, wouldn't that be like reverse racial profiling?
Yeah.
I mean, oh wait, before they were seen, they were profiled because they were Muslims, and they were being...
Yeah, and now they're not. But the guy that created the TSA said basically it's become a strong-arm force of goons. Well, SEIU is organizing them into a union, so therefore Obama said that we need a civilian armed force to protect the interests of this nation. He now has it in the TSA.
Well, guess what? Flying's down.
Yeah.
And how much is it off?
50% at the moment. They said only 3% of the people are going to be flying this holiday, and it's usually way high, so... Yeah,
that's to kill an industry. The Chamber of Commerce won't seek Obama defeat in 2012.
That's called B&S there. I mean, they don't. They like this guy to resign from office now. So a guy that basically is anti-business, they want to keep in office? No.
Obama administration defends use of courts in terror cases.
Yeah, they had 289 counts against the guy in a civilian case, and all they could find him guilty of was suspicion of damaging a federal building.
That's it?
That's it, suspicion of damaging. They can't even prove they couldn't even find him guilty of doing it, which they knew he did because
what?
he confessed.
He confessed and they can't find him guilty?
But Obama's confessed, if you confess to Bush, that's no good to Obama.
Harris's lead over Cooley grows in.
Well, yeah, he won the race, and then the Democrats miraculously find tens of thousands of votes. They have the 40,000 vote lead after Cooley was declared the winner by everybody.
And Obama, really?
Yeah.
And Obama pauses at the NATO summit to tout the new GM hybrid, GM's Opel's Ampera.
Anybody understand that the word O, which I kept telling people, the O and the Super O, the O is debuting in Europe. Of course, he's driving a gas-guzzling diesel and not driving his hybrids, but...
Actually, I'm surprised they're debuting it in Europe. We just had the world debuts at the LA Auto Show. Was it last week?
I think that they thought that might... Well, since the Volt, which is owned by Obama and shared by Obama, won the Green Car of the Year, I think they want the O to be there for next year to win it.
Well, you know, they also probably didn't want to step on the volt with the Opal.
Well, yeah, well, because, I mean, you talk about people, if the President of the United States has said, I'm canceling all hybrids, everybody would have, oh, we've got EVs coming out next month by the thousands. I mean, there'd have been 10,000 new models of EVs next month because those people are terrified of that man.
Yeah, they kept talking about every year we're going to get more and more and more, and I'm thinking there's only so many people buying cars.
Yeah, they're not buying, well, we're looking to have 1 million cars sold in the next decade. Well, according to all the experts, they're looking to have 10 to 20,000 cars sold. And there's no demand for them and they're too expensive.
New York Gitmo trial spurs fresh debate over detainees.
Well, yeah, you can't try them in a civilian court because the civilian courts have this, okay, most of the people are either Muslim or they're black. And you got to have a Muslim or a black person in the jury, and they're always going to vote to acquit. Yep.
And MSNBC suspends host Joe Scarborough.
Well, they said it's because Keith Olbermann threw a fit about his nasty 2-day suspension. So they suspended Scarborough to teach the Republicans a lesson for filing a complaint. Well, Scarborough's about as Republican as he's as Republican as Joe Biden is. The guy basically is working for MSNBC, so you know how much a Republican he is.
And Obama gives reporters at NATO a press conference his icy stare after they ask him a question not on his teleprompter.
Yeah, man, this is Obama. How in the world could you ask the President of the United States a question that he hasn't already been briefed on? You know that's a no-no.
Gosh, I could just imagine the other world leaders going.
Well, no, that's why they say that he's, when they say that he is too big for one person, they really mean it's too big for Obama. But the problem is, has anybody looked at the fact that every stereotype about a minority is coming through with Barack Obama? I mean, this guy, all he had to do was do nothing and he won the world. But instead he has to go back to a stereotype.
Yeah, he could have had it all.
Yeah.
Well, he did have it all.
And then he blew it all.
Well, that's the hard part. The higher you are, the farther you have to fall, right?
Yeah.
The webs.
Actually, they said the faster you climb the ladder, the faster you're going to fall down the ladder too. There's all kinds of sayings like that.
Websites urge travelers to refuse full body scans.
Oh God, it looks like it's got to be an ungodly nightmare this week. Because, I mean, only 3% of the population flying on a holiday.
That's really low.
They said that 97% will be taking motorized transportation of one sort or another.
Oh, here's one thing is if you are planning on going, just plan a lot of extra time.
Oh yeah, because the highways are going to be clogged, and the pat downs are going to be done. They're going to shut down the system to teach the president a lesson.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which what happens is just like when people are charging too much for a commodity, people stop buying it, and then the prices drop.
And Bernanke hits back at critics of bond buying plan.
It didn't work. It was supposed to, increase the worth of the bonds. He decreased the worth of the bonds, and he said, well, it could be some time before this actually works. That's their excuse when it's a failure.
And Washington is making the housing crisis even worse.
Oh yeah. I mean, this is a good one. Can you imagine? You want to have a vending machine? Vending machines now have to list the calories on every single thing in a vending machine, which means the product becomes too big to go through a vending machine, which pushed the vending machine industry out of whack. It also
would mean what would you'd have as one selection.
And he basically destroyed the senior citizen business because the companies that are basically dealing with senior citizens can't afford to handle senior citizens now, so they're dropping them by the hundreds of thousands.
What?
Well, yeah, because there's no money in treating senior citizens now. The doctors are basically pulling out of Medicare and Medicaid, so it's just that everything was supposed to push you into the single-payer system, except for the one problem is the reason the cost of healthcare is going up because he put 32 million people into a system that couldn't handle it, and nobody's going to pay for what Obama wants, so it's a dead deal.
And a Monty Bubbleism from the Mark Twain of the Animal Kingdom.
That if you continue to be delusional, how long is it going to be before the people that support you simply don't support you anymore?